Good afternoon. Lovely to see you. This time last year, I was sat roughly around about where you're sat, Chatterbox guys. That was a fantastic talk, by the way. And no notes. It was so impressive. But I was sat there on my very first day at the YMCA as housing chaplain. And I listened to all you guys sharing your testimonies and the work you did. And I was absolutely in awe of the work you've done. And now a year on, I've worked part-time, and I work part-time as a minister as well. But it's been one of the most rewarding years of my life. It's been tricky at times, but really, really rewarding. And I've absolutely loved meeting and building up friendships with the residents. Trust takes time, right? You just come in, everyone looks at you, or the Christian weirdo that's just joined. Staff especially are giving you funny looks. Is this guy going to be authentic? Is he just someone who's just going to come out with cliches? So it's about building trust, getting to know people with residents, staff, and also with the different visitors that we have at Westover. I have to say that I've been genuinely moved at the care and the love and the ability to go the extra mile by the staff at Westover. I know they've just given an extended talk, but I'm absolutely in awe of the work they do and the love and how far they go. And I wanted to say it's housing, maintenance, reception staff, the cleaning staff, the council, and the list goes on. But I hear stories and I watch their lives, and they will sit with residents in great times of need, hours and hours past their shift times finished, and they will just sit and spend time with them. And it's really moving. They will turn up at funerals on their days off and go that extra mile. They'll practical help way beyond what would be their job remit. So I'm just really blessed to be able to work with such an amazing bunch of people. So I wanted to highlight that just while I had the opportunity. I'm obviously part of the chaplaincy team, consisting of John, who's obviously chairing this time, Tim, who's sat over there, and we have a wonderful volunteer chaplain that gives beyond her hours. So we're really blessed to have her, and that's Susan. And our wider chaplaincy team, stroke housing, should I say, because they're also housing. Not only do they help out in chaplaincy, but they've also got housing and accommodation work to do. So when they have the time, they come and assist us with the bits and bobs that we do. So we're blessed to have them, and that's Pat, Kaizo. So we have a married couple, and they're a wonderful couple, Luke and Paul. And they, like I say, they join us for prayers and running various groups. And so as a housing chaplaincy team, we're really indebted, blessed to have you and the commitment that you show to the team. But what does chaplaincy actually do? Well, I'm going to tell you what we do, but then I would tell you what we really do, in my opinion. We run residentials to Sandy Home. That's already been highlighted already, I think. But we just returned yesterday. It always goes this way, by the way. We put a list up for Sandy Home. We get 15 enthusiastic people signing up to these events. It goes down to 10, and on the day, it goes down to about 5 or 6, which actually is very manageable. And we've just come back after 3 days at Sandy Home, and it was we had saunas and dips in the sea. We had a trip to the Tank Museum. My wife came over and we made homemade pizzas. We had copious amounts of coffee and cake and chocolate. I've literally put on half a stone, I think, within about 3 days. But mostly it's about spending time with them, right? Just to build up friendships, relationships. Inevitably, conversations start to flow. And the residents sample a side of life outside of Westover, because that can almost be normalised for them, and this is how life is, and it's not. So we try to give them a taste of something else as well, just to extend some love to them. So we do Sandy Home, hopefully 3 or 4 trips a year, if not more. We do snack and chats, which is probably one of my favourite things. We just do that in the lounge. But it's a real blessed time, you know. It's a chance just to sit down. Sometimes one to turn up, sometimes 5 or 6 to turn up. And we just talk about everyday life. Sometimes it's spiritual. Obviously, I'm a chaplain. Sometimes it's music. Sometimes it's just life issues, but it's just a time to sit, chat, and be normal, right? So that's a really blessed time. We do a prayer group on Wednesdays, and it's also on Teams and Zoom, so you're more than welcome to join us. We're currently running a course called MOAT, which means Management of Anxiety and a Trauma Group, which is run by the wonderful Susan sat over there. She's got mental health training. And she's also rolling out, and has rolled out, mental health first aid. So if any department's interested in that, then Susan is the woman, so do speak to her. So that's been a great help and a blessing to the chaplaincy team. We have done Bible study groups, life issue groups, chat and walk groups. We've hosted a number of celebration of life services. Sadly, we've had, well, at least in my time, five pass away in the last 7, 8 months. We actually hosted it was a wonderful time, wasn't it? We had a celebration of life here for one particular chap in the back room. And I thought maybe 15 people would come to this celebration. There was over 100 people, many from the homeless community. And it was a wonderful service, actually. And off the back of that, 3 people started to attend this church. So that was something beautiful coming out of a tragic situation. We try to keep in touch with some of the residents that have left. One of the chaps in the final video will be one such guy. So that we want to have a follow-up. I don't want to be in a situation as a chaplain that someone leaves and that's the end of it. If they want to keep contact, if they still need a bit of someone to walk with them, then we want to be able to offer that to those people. We have people referred to us as well. I've had a chap recently through the health bus. We've been referred and met him for coffee and spent a bit of time just working with that particular guy. I'm really blessed, actually, to have such a wonderful team. And they've been pushing me, and we now run a bi-weekly Sunday church meeting on a Sunday evening in the YMCA in the canteen. So if you think of a nice church like this, and then take it to a canteen, and it's just basic. People will come in, and sometimes they'll be slightly worse for wear, and they'll sit and they'll listen. Someone might come in to have some food, and they'll just sit in the corner. But you can see they're just listening, just wanting to be involved at a distance. So that's been a real blessed experience. So we're looking to see that evolve over the next weeks and months. We've done, I would say, hundreds of one-to-ones with residents and staff at times, and anyone that needs a listening ear. That's essentially what we're about, right? To have an open door policy, to have time to spend with people. John's kicked off, excuse the pun, walking football up at the junction. We liaise with churches, charities. We're building up a volunteer group slowly, and we refer to rehabs and counselling, and there's many other things that we do as well. This is like my Sunday service, you see. I often get people walking out as I'm preaching, but it's good to feel familiar. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to embarrass you. Yeah. Bless you. But what do we really do? What is most important? I had a moment of clarity or revelation on this a couple of 3 or 4 months ago. When I first joined the Y, there was an asylum seeker that used the gym. And we got talking one morning. I call him Miguel, that wasn't his real name. But we formed a friendship, and we would meet maybe once every other week. We'd meet in a coffee shop and we'd talk and spend time together. And at that time, he was seeking to get status in this country. He's now moved on and lives in London. He's got his status. But I was sat with him one day, and it was a rainy day in a coffee shop in Bournemouth. And it just came to me, this is the essence of what I would say encapsulates chaplaincy. And you have life, right? From beginning to end. And it's full of peaks and troughs. There's good points and there's low points in life. For all of us, it's not linear, is it? You know what I'm talking about, right? Sometimes we take a wrong turn in. Sometimes we get lost. Sometimes there's fog. Sometimes it's just dark. And sometimes it just goes downhill and it's really, really dark. It's in a real dark place and we are just alone and lost. And that is the time I feel that chaplaincy comes and walks with somebody. And it might be for a day, it might be for a week, It might be for years. And that we have the privilege and the opportunity to walk with that person. Sometimes we speak into their lives, and sometimes we don't say anything. Sometimes we say something powerfully Christian, like we should do, because we're chaplaincy. Sometimes we don't mention the gospel at all. It's whatever position they're in at that moment. But we walk with people. So that is how I would see a chaplain or a chaplain's role. So that's what we endeavour to do. Everyone has intrinsic worth in the sight of God as far as we're concerned. You've probably seen this analogy, but say you have a £5 note. I'm pretty poor, so I can only bring a £5 note. That's worth £5. But if you drop it and you stamp on it and it gets muddy and it gets a bit ripped, even might get a bit of dog excrement on it, to be honest. But you pick it up, it's still worth £5, right? So everyone has intrinsic worth and value in the sight of God and in the sight of chaplaincy as well. So that's how we like to view people. So I would just like to say, really finishing up before there's a short video, thank you so much to the guys that employ us and let us have that time and that privilege of being able to walk with people and to be able to give them time. Because that is an absolute privilege. And so many of you guys are really, really busy with all the multitude of tasks that you have to do, raising money and making things work. But we have that time and that privilege to be able to walk with people. So thank you for that. And there's a short video, I believe, to finish.
Okay.
Hi, excuse me for reading from a bit of paper, but I don't want to get too flustered. So, my name's Rachel, and I've lived in the YMCA for 3 years. I think it's vital to have a chaplaincy service in somewhere like this, because there's a lot of people here with mental health issues, addictions, or someone who's just fallen on hard times. Having John around the place, it's just nice to have someone who's a friendly face that you know you can go and talk to if you're just feeling down, just need a chat. And it's someone who genuinely cares and listens to you is really good. He's definitely helped me with a few personal things in my life and pointed me in the right direction. Especially from a Christian aspect as well. I think people are looking for answers, and to have someone to talk to, it can mean the difference between life and death. So I think it's very vital to have a chaplaincy service in somewhere like this. So yeah, I'm very grateful.
Hi, my name's Josh, 28, recently left the YMCA in Bournemouth, and over the time that I was staying there, I was talking with chaplaincy a lot of times. I was in a deep hole, struggling with addictions, mental health problems and everything along those lines, and without chaplaincy I don't think I'd be here today. And I heavily recommend it to everyone and anyone who was in the same position I was in.
Well, hi Craig, I just want to ask you how you found chaplaincy. Has it been a help to you over this last year?
It's actually been a massive help, actually. Yeah, there's not really any sort of real support for me, other than, you know, just the time I've had with John and basically going out once a week and, you know, just chatting about things that actually means the world to someone like me, because I find it hard to talk to people in the first place. So it's just a really easily approachable guy, I think. Yeah, it's brought the idea of the church side of things to me, and I've often considered, I've actually been to church, probably because of John, finding it's a slight help to me, I think. But yeah, so yeah, he's a bloody good guy, and you know, you need someone like John around, because not everyone's got someone to talk to just like that. So yeah, and I really appreciate it, and yeah, I highly recommend chaplaincy. You know, just give it a go. It's, like most people, have been in a dark place, really dark place actually. But yeah, so it's all good. It's all really good, and I think that'll be all I can say about it, because I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head.
The YMCA chaplaincy team under John, it's been really great to be able to do the walking football on a weekly basis. We just meet up with people, get fit, and have a coffee after, and it's really good. We've made some good friends, and it's just a great way of getting out and about and just being part of the community.
Thank you, John. And I echo what Craig said about you there in that video.